Yesterday, we talked about Krystal absolutely obliterating Alyssa Slotkin on the issue of Gaza. That went mega viral, and everybody loved Krystal and Sagar's interview with Alyssa Slotkin. And I told you, she actually reached out to them. She thought since it's like a left-right show, there was going to be some enlightened centrist, like establishment type show. And boy, was she surprised when she saw that it's a real show, that they ask real questions, and they actually believe in things. I know, crazy. So anyway, she did a great job with that. But apparently she's just collecting skulls this week because she also went on Piers Morgan's show and, had a little bit of a debate here with both Piers and Clay Travis. And this was also good. So let's take a look and we'll break it down as we go here.
Democrats have just crashed to a new 35-year low in popularity. Trump has just announced a new trade deal with the EU, which is more advantageous to America than the previous deal. Are you prepared to give Trump any credit today?
What an unbelievable question. Piers, I don't know if you noticed, but this motherfucker claimed like 17 different deals already, and then you went and talked to the countries in question, and they were like, we don't have a deal. We don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, what is this? Trump says something and people still, like, take it at face value? Like, no, he just says shit, bro. He just says shit. What are you talking about?
I will give him credit for humiliating the Europeans effectively. But in terms of delivering for the American people, I mean, remember what we were sold originally? 90 deals in 90 days? How did that work out? And now we're going to have tariffs put on, especially key pharmaceuticals coming out of Europe, not to mention European cars. So what you're likely to see is prices go up for your average working class American. So no, for the American people, I think that this is not even close to a win.
And reducing the number of people coming in illegally on the southern border from 10 million in 4 years to, I think it was 6,000 last month. You give him credit for that?
He certainly has cracked down on the border, no doubt about it. But, the cruelty of this immigration system, we're learning more and more about the men who were sent to CHECKMATES with no due process, who were raped and tortured and abused. We're learning more about the conditions in Alligator Alcatraz. I mean, it's a horror show, which is exactly why the American people are revolting against all of his immigration policies across the board, even though that had previously been a strength for him.
All right, Clay Travis, one of the problems, it seems to me, for the Democrats is their unwillingness to give Trump credit when he gets things right. The Trump dementia or derangement syndrome, as people call it, it is a real thing, isn't it? Because I think they would get so much better in terms of a relationship with Trump, with themselves, if they were just able to give him credit where he deserves it.
I can't believe he's still doing this tired bullshit, man. I really can't believe it. Let's face it, Piers. The thing that's prominent right now is Democrat derangement syndrome and liberal derangement syndrome and leftist derangement syndrome. People who have Trump derangement syndrome, they're just correct. These are the people who were saying, hey, I don't think he's going to want to leave if he loses in 2020. They were right. That's exactly what fucking happened. Hey, maybe he's going to try to do some fake bullshit, like a fake elector slate. That's exactly what he tried to fucking do. These are the people who were saying, I don't know, man. I think he's going to build like concentration camps and shit. That's exactly what he's doing. I don't think he believes in the Constitution. I think he's going to fucking try to ignore it. That's exactly what he's doing. No due process, no habeas corpus for these immigrants. This is what we're seeing. Rounding up innocent people, bombing Iran. All the harshest Trump critics were right every step of the way. And here's Piers pretending like, the problem with the Democrats is they don't give Trump credit when he deserves it. Are you fucking kidding me? The problem with the Democrats is their diet MAGA. We just talked about it. Alyssa Slotkin, she voted for more Trump picks than any other Democrat. What are you talking about? Their problem is the opposite of what you think it is. Their problem is when the Republicans go far right, they meet them halfway every single time. So no, I would like a little more Trump derangement syndrome because that's just called truth-telling.
Well, first, the last time I was on with you, Piers, I think I said that I would dress as a full clown if the stock market in 18 months had not rebounded to where it was on Election Day. We are, as I speak to you right now, at an all-time high.
My God, they're literally doing the meme, bro. They're doing the meme. I know you guys have seen the meme. Like the trade war thing. Like, okay, here's the stock market without tariffs, right? Here's the stock market with tariffs. It goes, the tariff said it goes down, and then it starts going back up again, right? And they're like, look at the line. It's going up. It's going up. It's like, yeah, but we would have been in a better place if he wasn't fucking the economy over day in and day out by waging a stupid trade war and making all our allies fucking hate us. He's doing the meme. This is the meme.
You're right. And by the way, I don't know if anybody else on that show who disagreed with me is willing to put on the clown nose, but maybe they should. I hope they at least didn't sell their stocks despite the fact they were telling everybody else to do it.
This is such cope. These people have no idea what's coming. We're going to do a story in a little bit. Literally nobody's in Las Vegas. The workers in Las Vegas, the tipped workers are like, I can't even pay the bills because nobody's coming here. I'm not making any tips. tourism has absolutely imploded in this country. Inflation is already going up, right? Jobs are going down. More unemployment is coming. Like, this fucking victory lap at the weirdest fucking time. What are you talking? There's already signs everything is falling apart and it's only going to get worse. You are way out over your skis, homie.
Trump ran primarily, Piers, on three things. He ran on the economy, he ran on border, he ran on crime. On the economy, we're at record highs in the stock market. Inflation is basically beaten down to about 2.5%. On the border, as you just mentioned, there are no illegals coming in at all. We are deporting violent illegal criminals at record rates.
You're deporting innocent people and sending them to concentration camps with no due process, and then we find out just how innocent they are. That's what's happening. You're even arresting and deporting American citizens. We've seen that a number of times.
And on crime, it's not getting a ton of attention, but we are on pace in the United States potentially for the lowest murder rate, lowest violent crime rate in the 21st century.
I love how they bring this up. Like, what bill has Trump passed vis-a-vis crime, right? Like, what criminal justice reform has he done in the time he's been in office? He hasn't done it. So why would you say, like, even if that were true, which doubtful, why would you give him credit? There's been no new legislation passed on this shit.
If these numbers can hold for the remainder of this calendar year, I don't see how you could look at those three things and not say, hey, first 6 months of Trump, it's not a disaster. We've also started to lessen the amount of war. There are less people dying.
We've started to lessen the amount of war. Oh, my God. Homie's waging war on the English language there. Bombed Yemen, bombed Somalia, bombed Iran. All of them, by the way, completely and utterly illegally. An offensive strike on a country that didn't attack us, wasn't going to attack us, and wasn't building a nuke. And he has the nerve to say, yeah, less war. That's not less war.
He managed to destabilize the Iranian government and take back their chances of getting nuclear weapons without a single loss of life. I can't think, Piers, in my life, I'm 46, of a better 6 months presidency than what we've seen from Trump so far.
Look at Krystal's face. She's like, oh, bless your heart.
Would you criticize him, Clay?
If I were going to criticize him, it would probably be that I think on the Epstein case, I think that they totally overpromised and underdelivered, and I think it has knocked them off their stride. I think Pam Bondi with phase one on the binders, whoever okayed that, it was a colossal misstep that has created a mess of their own creation that was unnecessary and that they could have addressed in a more succinct, honest way with the public. But if you take that off the calendar, I think you can say, look, the Senate has not moved as aggressively as they should have to confirm his judges. They're not moving at a very good pace there. I think you can address issues on that front. But I think in general, if I were giving him a letter grade, I'd give him an A, maybe not an A plus, but an A. And again, I think it's the best first 6 months of any president in my life.
They literally live on a different planet, dog.
Well, Krystal, what grade would you give Donald Trump?
So let me just clear up for your audience. I am not some liberal Democratic sycophant who capes for the Democratic Party and can never give Trump credit. In fact, in his first term, I actually supported the tariffs that he put in place because I thought they made some sort of sense. This term, there is virtually nothing, maybe changing like the pressure on the shower heads, that executive order, that I can get behind. And I'll tell you why, Piers. First of all, his major quote unquote accomplishment at this point is the big beautiful bill, which will strip healthcare away from millions of people in order to fund a tax cut for the people who need it the least. Second of all, the level of fascistic cruelty with regard to the immigrant population here is more horrifying than I ever could have even anticipated. Deploying the military in American streets, rounding up people at Home Depot, sending them off with no due process to a slave labor camp. Are you kidding me? The idea that this is a peace president, hey, I thought he was going to solve the Ukraine-Russia crisis in a day before he even got into office. That's still ongoing. No changes there. We have backed and funded an absolute campaign of starvation and horror in Gaza, and we started a new war with Iran. So on every single level, this presidency has been a chaotic horror show and a disaster. And the people who will be hurt the most in this country are the very working class people that Trump claimed and lied to support. So I give him an F across the board. And again, I am not some Trump deranged. I've given him credit in the past. I said it was good when he went and talked to the leader of North Korea. I said it was good when he met with the Taliban to try to negotiate a deal. But he never actually had the stones to pull out of Afghanistan. But in any case, he's a disaster this time. I could not in my wildest dreams have imagined how terrible this administration would be and how quickly here only 6 months in.
Spit and fire. Just straight spit and fire. Even if you just look at that one thing, the big bullshit bill that they were ecstatic over that they passed it. They had an event. He gave a rally speech. He was patting himself on the back and sucking himself off, his little tiny pecker. What does that bill do? Adds $4 trillion to the deficit and the debt, cuts taxes on the rich, raises it on the working class, cuts Medicaid $800 billion, which kicks 17 million people off health care as Krystal laid out there for you. It raises out-of-pocket costs, reduces coverage for poor and disabled people, cuts 3 million people off food stamps, cuts free school lunch for kids, kicks millions off of Obamacare, cuts Medicare because the bill violates PAYGO, and it leads to this automatic sequester, which is just a fancy way of saying it automatically cuts Medicare. It kills all of our renewable projects like wind and solar. So that's a whole bunch of jobs that are cooked, and it's also going to raise your energy prices, by the way. It increases pollution, increases oil and gas drilling on public lands. The bill repeals a tax on gun silencers, massively increases ICE Gestapo funding. Billions of dollars are going to go to this bullshit Golden Dome, which is just like a massive giveaway to Lockheed Martin and Raytheon. Just a total fucking scam where they loot the treasury right in front of our faces. That's one thing, one bill that he passed, and this is the fucking damage. To say nothing of the concentration camps that he set up where he's sending innocent people to say nothing of the illegal bombing campaigns that are happening all fucking over, to say nothing about the trade war he launched on our top allies, and now they fucking hate us and they're running into the loving arms of China and abandoning us. There's one thing. And this jackass is, it's most successful president of my lifetime. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Do you know, out of interest, Krystal, how many people Barack Obama deported in 8 years?
I know he deported a lot, Piers. But here, do you realize this, though? Clay said something earlier. He said, we're deporting record-breaking numbers of violent criminals. Look, I'm fine with deporting violent criminals. The reality is that's not what's happening. Actually, the proportion of violent criminals that we are deporting is far less. Why? Because ICE agents have been told, stop chasing after the gang members. Stop going after the criminals, because that takes time. That takes energy. Instead, Stephen Miller says, go to the Home Depot, go to the 7-Eleven, round up the mom, round up the grandma, round up the person who is going through the asylum process and actually doing the proper things and hasn't done anything wrong, and ship them off to CHECKMATES. It's disgusting. And that's why there's truly a revolt against it from the American public. I mean, the backlash against Trump's immigration policies is striking.
That wasn't actually my question.
Yeah. What is your question?
Well, do you know how many people Barack Obama deported in 8 years?
He deported millions of people. I'm not here to simp for Barack Obama. I think he had a lot of cruelty in his immigration system as well, which I said at the time and have said afterwards as well.
Okay, that's fair enough. Clay.
Classic Piers Morgan. He tries to play this like gotcha game. Krystal, do you know how many people Barack Obama has deported from the country? And she's just like, yeah, I mean, a lot. I don't support that. And he's like, but y'all supposed to defend Barack Obama. She's like, no, I don't agree with that. By the way, also, he could have brought up Joe Biden too. Joe Biden deported 4 million fucking people. 4 million people, dog. And if all that does is prove that the right-wing narrative that Democrats are in favor of open borders, bro, Barack Obama, open borders, Joe Biden, open borders. All that does is show that they're fucking NPC bots on the right who don't know anything about anything. They've never done any research. They've never done any reading. They just regurgitate the same bullshit they hear from other right-wing assholes, and they're wrong. So will they admit, hey, you're wrong. Democrats are not in favor of open borders. Not at all. In fact, they're very conservative on the border. Will they admit that? They never admit that. That's all that proves. But you will find a track record of lefties being consistent in saying, yeah, I think they were too hard on immigrants. I'm flat out pro-immigration, bro. Immigration is good for the country. Immigrants are like the best people I've ever met, the best people I've ever known. I think immigrants make this country great. So yeah, I want more immigrants. But you'll find consistency. You'll find a track record of I'm against the hardcore policies if it's Obama, if it's Biden, or if it's Trump. But also, let's be serious here, and this is the other point that Krystal was making. It's not fucking equal. Right? It's literally not equal. 92% of the people they're arresting have no criminal record whatsoever. 92%. When you throw out due process, when you throw out habeas corpus, when you round up American citizens, when you round up legal immigrants, that is above and beyond and way worse than what you see under a Democratic administration. You can have critiques of what the Democrats do, but let's not pretend like, it's all the same and it's all equal and, they're all roughly equivalent. No, they're not. You don't have Democratic presidents. They weren't sending people to a slave labor concentration camp in El Salvador where they're getting literally fucking tortured. We didn't have that. So let's stop fucking lying here, okay? But anyway, another great move here from Krystal. Basically caught Piers Morgan speeding, stopped him in his tracks, and made him go, Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.